I'm taking a look at the all-new third generation Lexus IS. Will I be impressed? Let's find out. Like all modern Lexus cars, the all-new IS incorporates the spindle grille. But for the IS here, they make it a bit more aggressive. It's now both wider and longer, but the shape somehow defies the dimensions. They paid special attention to the overall flow, definitely concentrating on the rear. HID headlights are standard on the IS, while LED lighting is standard for the F Sport. Here we have the IS 250 F Sport version, and you can tell it's even more aggressive. The mesh grille is an easy way to tell that this is the F Sport. Other differences are the brake calipers, and of course, the F Sport badge. If you like that aggressive look, then you gotta go for the F Sport. It manages to look both luxurious and aggressive at the same time, so I really think they hit the mark with the all-new IS. As with the exterior, the interior now resembles other Lexus models as well. There are some subtle differences inside with the F Sport. Of course, the F Sport logo right on the steering wheel, and up top here, the special gauge. With the touch of this button on the steering wheel, you can shift between these two modes. That's straight from the LFA, Lexus's supercar, and it's pretty cool. I also like this carbon fiber look right at the door. The F Sport seats also have bigger side bolstering. A nice touch that really helps when cornering. The IS's steering wheel is all business. You've got controls for the menus, also Bluetooth, and here's your special menu right here. Got cruise control right down there, standard Toyota Lexus, and of course these paddle shifters up top. Your leather-wrapped armrest also features a bit of storage underneath and a place to hook up your USB or smartphone as well. You get 2 cup holders, also controls for your normal, eco, and sport modes. You can cancel the traction control there, I don't recommend it, and there's also a snow setting. In the IS 250, you get a 6-speed automatic transmission. This one features an 8-speed automatic, and of course, you can shift it for yourself here or with the paddles. You get a mouse-like control, or you can press the buttons here to control the menus. When using the mouse setting, of course, you can control it just like you would with your computer. No problem. You have controls for your heated and cooled seats, and of course, your dual zone climate control right here. I like the way you can control the temperature with just a slide of your finger. That's nice. There is, of course, push button start and an analog clock, as well as that nice screen. And then you also have, in between your gauges, a 4.2-inch screen here. That's in color, actually. The seats are all power controlled with lumbar support, and I really like the leather material, nice and soft, comfortable, with nice side bolstering too to hold you in. Overall, it's a very nice, refined, and well-designed interior. Out back you do get your own vents, plus seating for up to 3 across, and improved legroom too. Your armrest also has a fold-out cup holder, and for the first time you get 60/40 folding rear seats. They collapse for more room, plus you can lock them in case you have valuables still stored in the trunk. Nice. Open up the trunk and you're greeted by quite a bit of cargo space. The IS 350 is powered by a 3.5-liter V6, which uses a combination of port and direct injection and is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It produces 306 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 takes 5.6 seconds, while fuel economy is rated at 19 miles per gallon in the city and 28 miles per gallon on the highway. You can expect 22 miles per gallon overall. The IS 250 is powered by a 2.5-liter direct injected V6. It produces 204 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual shift program accessible via the shift lever or the steering wheel mounted paddles. The IS 250 will get you to 60 in 7.7 seconds. Fuel economy is rated at 21 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway. You can expect 24 miles per gallon overall. Now, pricing for the all-new IS is very important. When you're coming out with an all-new car, you want to be as competitive as possible, and I think they've done that. Pricing starts at $35,950 for the IS 250, and then you're at just a tick under $40,000 for the IS 350. Now, if you want a fully loaded F Sport, then you're talking about closer to $50,000. That's with all-wheel drive and all the bells and whistles. So in terms of Lexus's ideal person for the IS, they're thinking that they want a younger crowd. I know grandfathers that have them because they're very comfortable and they're very luxurious. But what Lexus is doing here with the IS is they're really making it fun to drive. They're making it much more sporty, and it is. I think they've done a good job. There's a lot of variants. You know, you want the all-wheel drive, you've got it. You want the sport version, you've got it. But most importantly, with the styling, they've made it more aggressive, and they are appealing to a younger audience. And that younger audience likes their tech, and Lexus has not ignored them. They actually have tech assistants at the dealers now to help you out. Lexus Inform used to come with just 7 apps, and now they've added 3 more. So now you can check your stocks, you can also check the latest sports scores, and also you can find a cheap gas station nearby. All very important. So 10 apps total, and you got those tech assistants to help you. What about the other tech? Well, actually, their navigation system has HD traffic and weather, and it's smart now. It actually will update itself every couple of minutes so that if there's a problem coming, you can avoid it. And even if you don't have navigation, well, you actually have a map that shows traffic anyway. So if you don't spring for the nav package, well, there you go. And I think that's a great deal. Now, of course, safety is very important to Toyota and Lexus, and don't worry, they've got you covered with the IS here. They have great new innovations like lane departure warning, and also in a parking lot, you've got cross traffic warning, and you've got blind spot intervention, and really those things are great because they step in with either a light or a chime or both to really let you know what's going on. Now, a couple other great safety features are the dynamic cruise control and the pre-collision system. Basically, if you've got the cruise control on and you're following a car and it slows down, well, it'll slow you down. And with pre-collision, if an accident is imminent, well, it'll go ahead and try to stop you, and that's a good thing. That can save your life. Plus, every single IS comes standard with 10 airbags. As I was saying, Lexus has really never had a problem attracting the older market, and that's for cars like the LS and the GS, which I've previously tested, and those are excellent cars. But for the IS here, they have gone to a younger audience, and you would think that would make the IS very uncomfortable, but really it's not. You know, what they've done is they've actually softened up the springs a bit to give you that general smooth, quiet, comfortable ride when you're doing your daily commuting, when you're going to work, taking the kids to school, all that sort of thing. But when you need it, well, that's when they've stepped up the handling. And basically what you've got here is the GS's suspension system. So it is very impressive, and on the track it is simply amazing. Traction control's on, and this is the 250 all-wheel drive. So we got a little extra built-in grip here, so I'm going to push it a little bit. Feel the back end coming loose there a little bit. Track out, up to the wall, wait for the late braking point, brake, little threshold braking, turn in, set up again, kind of a double apex. Try to clip the apex here, it's awful hard to do. Back out, over here. You know, the 250 here is just easy to control, actually. Never feel like you have too much power, so this one might just be the bargain of them all, actually. A little wet there, how to avoid that. So no traction control here, and steering with the throttle. It doesn't have so much power, but it's actually got just enough to really have fun with. Fighting the the back end, trying to keep it in, now accelerating out. While you're braking in a straight line, I let a little bit go. Back end, little trailing oversteer there. And easy to get the power down with the traction control off. It doesn't retard power any when it thinks you're a little bit out of control. So traction control off is definitely the way to go for performance driving, but you really got to know what you're doing, because you can certainly spin, get loose, and that's no fun. Really impressive brakes too. 350, 250, doesn't matter. The braking is actually very, very good. It's like you're running into a wall almost. Excellent braking. So to sum up the Lexus IS's on-track performance, I have to say it feels very solid. These prototype ISs in both 250 and 350 forms, including the F-Sport versions of both, really performed flawlessly on the track. Of course, they were being driven back-to-back by unrelenting journalists, and I didn't experience any brake fade or quirky handling at all. With the traction control on, I really felt invincible in the IS. And even with it off, which is how I drove it most of the time, the handling was very predictable. Of course, for the advanced driver, the IS350, or better yet, the F-Sport, is what you want. It has enough power to get you around the track, or of course your hometown, in quite a hurry, while the IS250 was plenty quick in its own right, and really well balanced. Considering the prototypes, I feel very confident that you'll enjoy the IS when it comes out later this year, on the road or track. So, not on the track, but going through twisty bends, you've certainly got enough grip to keep you out of trouble, and you can't really touch the 350's limits on regular pedestrian streets. It's got so much juice to it, and I think really the IS250 in that aspect, much like say a Mazda Miata or the Scion FRS, is really fun because you can really exploit the limits in the car easier. The IS350 here, and especially with the all-wheel drive, is just so sticky that it's really hard to trip it up and get it loose. So I think the 250 is, of course, cheaper and probably a bit more usable for most people. So with the introduction of the IS, Lexus will have an entirely new product line in just 2 years, and that's incredibly quick. But you don't have to worry about quality, because JD Power and Associates actually recommends every Lexus car in their lineup 100%, and that certainly says something. When Lexus was redesigning the all-new IS, they were very concerned about ergonomics in what they call the display and operational zone. That's right here, you know, where you're looking at the speedometer, the tachometer, when you're interacting with the media and the HD radio. And they've really thought about it, and they've really basically placed things where you want them, and everything falls very easily to hand. This is a very well-designed car, and the whole layout is practical, and it just makes sense. It's also very comfortable. So the F-Sport is not just a little bit different on the outside and a little bit more aggressive, they've also changed around the interior too. Last time it was sort of a couple little add-ons, but this is a whole package in the F-Sport this time around for the all-new version. They've got better aerodynamics, they've got better braking, they've got better airflow, and sport seats too to hold you in, plus that really cool LFA supercar gauge. Nice touch. Exploring the Pinehurst area has been really, really nice. A lot of beautiful places around here. Love the lake. It's really a nice engine tone when you mash the throttle on the F-Sport. So when Akio Toyoda set out to redesign the all-new Lexus IS, he adapted a Japanese term called wakudoki, and basically what that means is sort of like Farfignugan, but a bit more, say the Lexus people. It's all about the excitement of driving and design, and Lexus actually brought in some craftsmen, and one of them designed furniture and upholstery, and the other was a potter, and the other was a woodworker. And they basically wanted to show that these people, when they make a design, it's not about form only, it's also about function, but it's the way these two things combine and work together in a symmetry, and that's what it's all about. So I think after driving the all-new IS on the road and track, I really do think they've pulled it off. This is a car that appeals to a younger generation. It's aggressive, it's fun to drive, and it's still luxurious and comfortable. Wackadokie. I'm Drivin' Ivan Katz.